and welcome to our press conference for Elimination Round 3 of the 2018 Lucas Oil Challenge Cup. Today's winner, Edwin Evers. Congratulations, Edwin.
Thank you.
I just want to talk about first your biggest and last fish, 3 pounds, 4 ounces. How did it feel to catch that, and what kind of were you thinking in that moment when you pulled that fish out of the water?
I was super excited, because I really wanted to win the round, obviously for the points to make the World Championship. I just need as many points as possible. So it was definitely an explanation on my day, to pass Bobby and move back up into the lead.
What were your main baits and patterns, and how did that change throughout the day?
I started off flipping a Zoom Z-Hog, a junior, just a blue-colored bait, flipping it shallow. As the day continued, I started throwing my square bill crankbait, just a Megabass square bill crankbait. It's just an awesome bait that I have a ton of confidence in. It really hunts for center. And I felt like I was not catching everything, the potential on each piece of the cover. So by throwing that crankbait, I started getting some reaction bites and really started helping me propel through the rounds.
Would you have done anything differently if you had to do today over again?
Man, I lost some big ones. There was a couple of fish I just would have liked to show everybody. I had one monster on that crankbait that come off right at the boat, like a 5-6 pounder. Just I like catching big ones, but no. Other than that, it worked really good. I didn't know it was going to be that good. But at the end of the day, man, it worked out perfect.
Edwin, what were your initial thoughts when you got out to the lake and you saw the body of water you're going to be fishing on?
Two complete different bodies of water. We had one lake that was wide and shallow and really dirty water. We had another lake that was really long, like 11 miles, a lot cleaner water, a lot narrower. I just felt like the shallower, dirtier water lake, I would be able to pick it apart quicker.
We're in a part of the country that literally none of you guys have fished in before, which kind of defies the odds. So nobody has an advantage. Talk a little bit about that.
Kind of neat, I was telling somebody just 3 weeks ago, I was at the headwaters of the Mississippi River catching smallmouth on the top water, and now we're at the termination, basically, of the Mississippi River right here before it goes into the ocean. No idea what to expect. Never fished here in my life. I didn't know. I really still don't know how all these oxbows work, how they were formed, but really neat. Just kind of neat country down here. I'm impressed with the fishery.
Looking at the score tracker, there were a lot of lulls and a lot of flurries of catches. Why do you think that is?
It's just a time of year when you can get a fish to react, a fish to bite. A lot of times there's multiple ones right there together. They're kind of, herding shad, so to say, up in an area or on a piece of cover. So it just goes to show something that people can learn from Major League Fishing. Watching that score tracker, man, when I get a bite, Bobby gets a bite, Shaw gets a bite, everybody else gets a bite, and the score tracker will light up for 15 minutes. And it just goes to show the creature that we're after. There's a lot more to it. Maybe it's the barometric pressure, the moon, where it's at in relation to the horizon, the pull on the earth. I think some of that stuff really triggers more bites than we ever give it credit for.
Speaking of the score tracker, at the end of the third period, it was buzzing. So I just want to know, were you celebrating when the boat official said lines out, or were you kind of like, is there another fish going to come in?
Yeah, I was waiting. There's obviously a lot of delay in that score tracker just because of the reception. It's still good, but, there's a few times that I felt like, man, either they caught them really quick or there was a delay in that score tracker. So, yes, heck, 10, 15 minutes afterwards, hey, check it again. I want to make sure I'm right here.
Yeah.
Did I really win this? Can I celebrate? So, yeah, it was happening quick at the end.
Edwin, you talked about some of the factors that affect the fish and their behavior, the moon and the barometric pressure. You were also fishing 2 days after a cold front moved through. Clear bluebird skies yesterday, though. How does that weather affect the fishing?
I think it was on the upswing. I think, in my opinion, always the second day after a cold front's the worst, so maybe we were the second day. But I think it really holds them tight to cover. Every bite I had, if this was the piece of wood, those fish were right there as close as they can get to, on low barometric pressure type days, they'll be, as an example, out away from that stuff. So I think it really, what I learned early on was they were, right there close to that cover, and just because of the high pressure.
So one of the hallmarks of Major League Fishing is that you're fishing against the best of the best. And I think you've gotten a little bit of preview of who you're competing against in the sudden death round. Talk a little bit about how you feel about the lineup of guys that you're going to compete against. How excited are you about that?
Oh, I'm excited. You know, I'd have to be probably one of the most stacked sudden death rounds that we've ever had in the history of the sport. It's just a fact when you look down through the roster. So, you know, I'm just going to have to be on my toes and make the most of every bite.
So speaking of the sudden death round and how stacked it is, are you going to be making any changes like to your tackle or approach?
You know, after seeing the first body of water, I'm going to probably eliminate a few things just to streamline things, make it easier to get tackle in and out of that boat, just not need as many rods, just, you know, simplify things a little bit, so to say.
One last question, Ed, and we know you've got a lot of stuff to do this evening. So you weren't in the lead until we got into period 3. Obviously, Bobby Lane had been kind of leading throughout the day by a larger margin, and then you just slowly crept up there. What kind of mentality do you have to have when it is kind of a grind like that, more than something where you can get out ahead so far?
It's one of the things I've always said about Major League Fishing. It is the most exhausting thing I've ever done in the sport because you can never settle. You never take a deep breath. You never relax because every fish counts. And you know, to be able to pass Bobby there at the end, you know, and all the pressure that we were both feeling, it was huge for me. But man, I was wiped out when the day. I'm just wiped out now. You know, when the round was over, I was completely wiped out.
Well, that makes sense. It was a great day out on the water for you. Congratulations again on your win, and good luck in sudden death.